Hi, scrappy friends. So I have a new layout for you today, and this is going to be a little bit more labor intensive because I am making the background. Excuse me. It's a little chilly in my house today, so I'm like all bundled up. Um, so I am right now testing out colors that I want to use on my layout. I am mixing. That one that I'm adding blue to has a light blue, a little teeny tiny bit of black, and I added a little bit more blue, and I'm going to add a little bit of white. And when I say a teeny bit of black, I mean like I just put like a speck in there. I'm really trying to get like a gray blue color. And so you can see that um, I add a little bit more blue to it because I still think it's a little bit gray, like a little bit too dark for me. Probably if I would do it again, I might have not added any, but I don't know. I really wanted like a gray blue color. And then like that top line that I made has blue in it, and it has a light blue and a dark blue together. I may have added a little bit of green, but I don't remember. I know it has mostly blue, and then that's gold acrylic paint. So those are the colors that I want to use, and I'm going to use the blue gray color and not just the gray color. And I really wanted to test those out before I did my page. Now, as you can see, I'm using that paper with the gray black lines as my inspiration. I'm not going to be using that page at all, and I believe that's from Webster's Pages. But I really, really like it, and so I want to kind of do something that's similar to it but different, like my own take on it. And I really want to do that, a lot of that stuff this year. Make backgrounds and make backgrounds that are inspired by products that are coming out or that are out, but have my own twist to it. So it's me and, being inspired by what I see. So I am just gonna rotate the colors. If I had planned this out a little bit better, I would have used a ruler and tried to measure out the exact distance in between each line, just on both sides, just so that I could get a more even line. Because as I'm watching it back, I can see that it's not completely straight, and I didn't want it to be perfect. I did want it to have that homemade feel because it is homemade. So, and I'm really, really, really liking how this is turning. And I will speed this up a smidge at some point soon, just so that it goes through quicker. But I did want to show the whole process, as painstaking as it seems. It's really just tedious. And actually, it was really, really fun to just go through and work with the watercolor. Um, and I did make it a little bit darker. And this is going to be for uh, a layout of my grandfather. So I did want it more masculine and not so feminine. But I'm, and as I'm going down, I'm realizing that my lines are getting a little bit, the white is getting a little bit bigger. So at this point, I believe is when I kind of really start noticing it, and I'm just going to go with that. So by the end, the bottom lines have a little bit extra white in it than up at the top. And I figured that since I noticed that at the beginning, like halfway through, that I should just go with that because otherwise I think it would have looked not as nice because I would have had to try to fix it. And I mean, the only other way I could have fixed it was to redo this over. Now I am using Stampin' Up! Whisper White, so this is a little bit shiny. And I did not add any gesso to it. And the reasoning behind that was I didn't want the off-white color. The gesso tends to be a little bit off-white on that kind of white cardstock. if I had clear, then that would have worked. But so now I'm going to go through my papers, and I'm not using any kit of any kind. So I'm going to go through my papers and find what's somewhat relevant, but what kind of matches with those colors. So I'm looking through some of my Maggie Holmes open book collection because I really like this collection and I haven't used much of it. So, and I was thinking maybe I would use that gray or like a light black polka dot. Now, and up in the corner you can see that's now covered by Teresa Collins stuff. Another card that has dots on it. I took half of the striped card that I was using as to try out my colors, and I just used the colors that I had in my palette and made some circles. I thought maybe I might be able to use this for this layout. If I don't, I can use it for something else. So I tend to do that. When I'm using a paint, I try to use some more of it up and not just let it dry. Now the watercolors will dry really easily because I can just add water to it and it'll rehydrate. But acrylic paint, once you leave it in the container and it dries, it's dried on there. It's not going anywhere. So as you can see, I looked through a whole bunch of my papers and I rambled on while I was doing it. So you didn't really, hopefully you got to see what I was picking. And I picked quite a few of the Chamel's papers, but I picked the ones that had more of the blue because I really wanted that blue and not the aqua color, even though I love the aqua teal color that is in her line. And that bottom one right there is from the Serendipity line, and that's Sugar Sugar, and it has like really faint, like it's almost like an ombre. It starts off really light up at the top, and then at the bottom it's a little bit darker, but it's still really faint. And it's a like almost like a gold tan color. And I really thought that that neutral color would look really, really good with the lines that I have on my paper and that really bold paper of that paper. But I really liked the color, and I really liked the fact that it had old records on it and some old items, because that photo of my grandfather is from somewhere in the 1950s. I would probably say it was probably the late 50s because um I'm almost positive this is a picture of my grandfather's prom when he was in high school. So, and he was born in 1941, so, you know, 61 would have made him 20, so it was probably like 58 or something. Somewhere around there. So, because I don't know when this photo is, I'm not going to put an approximate date. I don't think. Maybe on the back I'll say like 1950s, late 1950s or something, just for a reference. So I'm just building layers, and of course I was talking on about my photo, and so I picked that Chamel paper with the lines on it. It's like a grid, almost like a grid paper, because of that blue stripe. I really, really like that blue stripe. And I wasn't thinking I was going to use such a big square for doing my layers. I thought I was going to do them a little bit tighter, but when I seen that, I really liked that, and I really wanted it on the right side. So that's why. Because I could have flipped it over. I just that's just what so I'm putting pop dots in between some of the layers just to kind of help give it some dimension. I mean, once it sits in my album, in my page protector, it's going to get way down. And I really want to be able to see some of those layers. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I really would like to be able to see some of that. So that is why I'm putting some pop dots. Now that flower paper that has the blue, the dark blue and like a black type of like chevron arrow looking pattern, is from Echo Park, and I think that's called We Are Family. That came out in the summer-ish time. I think it's Lori Whitlock who did that, if I'm not mistaken. So here I'm trying to decide exactly where I want that. And I know at one point I had put it on the other side, and watching it on the video, I kind of liked it there, but I didn't like it in real life. I just, for whatever reason, I didn't like it there. So that is where my line for my vertical line is going to go. And sometimes I like to do that when I'm doing a layout and I'm not using a sketch. I like to have a 2/3 line somewhere. So, like a third. So you're thinking of it like a grid. And you have, two lines on each. I know, I'm probably really confusing you guys. So you think of it in thirds. And so I really wanted to have that a third line there, that line, just to have something to go with. Because there is so much other vertical stuff or horizontal stuff that I wanted a vertical line to. And so here I am putting down some thickers, and those are daiquiri, and they have a really, really thick, beautiful gold glitter on them. Now, I will say sometimes it does come off a little, but in the page protector, I'm not too worried about it. But they're so fun. And so I'm writing the word out charming because that's going to be part of my title. And at this point, I'm not really sure exactly what my full title is going to be, but I know I want the word charming. So I have that basic gray metal piece from Spice Market. And here I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get it adhered down because I was just going to try to use the ATG and that wasn't working. So I got out some glue dots, my little glue dot hickey thingy. So here I'm looking through some Amy Tan stitched ephemera that I just got this month. And I'm just looking to see if there's any colors that match. I mean, she has a lot of like teal colors and other like more feminine colors. But there is that stitch word that says hello, and I really, really liked it. So I put it above charming. So now the title reads Hello Charming. And I really wanted that word because I thought my grandfather just looked so charming and so dashing, and I really wanted it to speak this, I don't know, the grandeur of what he looks like. I mean, in that time period, he just looks that time period. He looks like the 1950s, all spiffy, and of course the picture is in black and white, which I love because it really brings out that white jacket and the black slacks, and he just looks so sharp. So I just had a lot of fun playing with it, and I really liked the fact that it was black and white because I could pick up on the black and white um, colors, but also have the pops of the blue and the gold. And I really am enjoying the way that this is coming out. So just a minute ago, you seen me have some dies, and those are the Amy Tan stitched dies. And so I took out some hearts and some stars and a circle that says love in the middle. And I ran that through my new We Are Memory Keepers Evolution machine, which is kind of like a Big Shot. It's a little bit smaller. It's probably closer to the Cuttlebug. And I like it. I'm learning how to use it. So I found that with this die set, I don't know if it's because these are really, really thin, that not everything is cutting through. And with the evolution, you can move the space for the rollers so that if it's really thick, you can fit different size dies in without having to use lots of plates instead of, which I like the idea of. So I'm looking through the Maggie Holmes ephemera because I'm looking for blue or black or gold type colors. and I know that this collection has a lot of it. And I think I spent a long time doing this, and a lot of it was due to doing the background, but then a lot of it was just looking for stuff. Um, I find that that just takes a long time, and if you're finding that when you're doing a layout and you don't enjoy the process of looking through your stuff, then you might need to make a kit ahead of time. There's a lot of ladies on YouTube that make their own kits now from their stash. And, I don't mind sometimes going through my stuff. I do love using a kit, whether it be homemade or store bought or, like a kit club that puts a kit together and that definitely cuts down on the time. I mean, I think I clocked all of my pieces that I put together before I edited was over 2 hours. Now, there was quite a bit of time where I was not at the computer because I had to get up and do something. Some of it was just as you can see, I'm still looking through stuff because I'm looking for those colors. And I like to keep my die cuts, packs, and separate. Now, if I have a kit, I will keep them all together, my kit all together until I get to a certain point where I feel like it's okay to separate it. So after I've used it quite a bit, and I will say I'm sorry about the light being a little come and go. My new, where I move my scrap table is right in front of a window, and I really like the light aspect of it, but sometimes the light will glare in and you get those lines. So it takes a little while for it to the camera to adjust. So I am sorry about that. And so I think at this point I'm looking for string, like a twine, yeah, for that tag because I decided that I did want to use that tag. So you see me pull just a whole bunch of ephemera and I'm just trying it out. I'm just putting it in the layers because really at this point I'm just building layers. I'm adding some interest, I'm adding some color I could have left it like this and it would have been fine. But I really like to pack some goodies in those layers. I mean, I bought all this stuff, I might as well use it, right? And next season, we're going to have new stuff that we want to play with. So, I really, really try to make the most of my ephemera packs. And obviously, if you want to get a lot of layouts out of them, you can. Because, you know, I you can cut them in half if you're only using half. So I'm just adding those bits and pieces. And most of those are from the Maggie Holmes ephemera collection. But there is a couple pieces from I think it's Style Board. I know that one blue tag that I put in there a while ago was from Style Board, and there's that black and like off-white cream color circle that I had just added. Oh, it's not on there yet. The one with the 6. I think that's either Maggie Holmes or it's DIY from Crepe Paper. But I really liked the 6. Even though the 6 isn't showing, I really liked that old school feel that piece is going to give my layers. And I'm adding most of my layers to the left-hand side of my photo because I'm going to do some journaling there. But other than that, there's not really much else going there. And so I do that's the side that I am going to have more heavy. So, and I'm just trying some of these pieces, like that shutter piece. And some of them work, and I had some more chipboard. And so this right here is from the Dear Lizzie collection, and they're watercolor words. So the paper is like a watercolor paper, and they're die cut in cursive words. And this one says smile, and you can just use your watercolor. And so I just used a little bit of the watercolor that I had left over, and I'm just got it wet and I just used it. And I actually used it on that hello sticker too, or tag, because I thought that that would kind of um, mirror that one down there. And I really like the way that that looks. So I'm going to glue it down. Because I think at this point I have most of the stuff down that I'm going to have. I'm just going to put a few extra things. Oh yeah, because I have these Dear Lizzie, the gold word and letter stickers, and so one side is gold and white, and then the other side is white with gold. And they're gorgeous. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. It's like I bought quite a bit of the new stuff, and I tried to get more of the pieces that I like, not so much paper, but embellishment pieces, just because I go through those so much quicker. And being in, I already get kits, so, or a little bit, so I don't really need to buy as much paper. So here I think I just got, yeah, some sequins. And I picked out gold, black, white, and like a blue color, like a really dark blue. And I'm just randomly putting them throughout my page in some clusters. And they're not in any specific order of clusters. I'm just putting them throughout just to kind of bring your eye almost around the layout. And so here are the close-ups of this whole layout. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And let me know if you guys want to see more background stuff or if you want me to cut that stuff out. I really enjoy making it, and so I hope that you guys enjoy watching it. But give me some feedback and let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye!